Democrats are doing, or not Democrats, sorry, Republicans are doing this like weird thing now where Greg Abbott started this thing where he casually will just like bus migrants to DC and like other like blue states and shit, right? Specifically to DC though. And then immediately, of course, DeSantis got involved on that too. And Ron DeSantis, because he's such a fucking clout-hungry piece of shit. And he started doing it too. He sent him to Martha's Vineyard, which I think is pretty funny. He flew them out to Martha's Vineyard. And what they're basically doing is like, they are literally doing what they said the Democrats were doing, but couldn't find any Democrat that's actually doing that, right? So they just decided to do the George Soros thing themselves. Like, they unironically did the George Soros thing. They were like, George Soros is busing migrants to liberal cities for the votes, right? And then they couldn't actually find one, so they just started doing it themselves. Which is weird. It's like humiliating. For the people, it like robs them of their humanity. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like Steven Crowder cross-dressing. It's just always projection. And if this is true, apparently, one migrant told the national correspondent for Fox News that he believes the border is open. Which, of course, like, you know, where did he hear that? Not from a Democrat, I'll tell you that much. You know who probably told him that? Some fucking Republican. It's insane. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? It's such a weird, it is such a weird thing that these guys are like, yeah, the border's open. They're telling Venezuelans the border's open and they're busing them into lip-tart cities. It's like, no, it turns out you're doing that. Like, you couldn't find a guy to fucking do that. So you're doing it now. Also, if anyone unironically thought the border was fucking open, that means they're probably watching Fox News. Because the only place that ever says the border is open is fucking Fox News. I've never heard anybody be like, yeah, the border's open, please come in. I've never heard a single liberal news outlet be like, yeah, thank God, finally Joe Brandon is president and the border is open. Like, it's just an invention of the Republican Party. Like, the most famous Kamala Harris moment is literally her being like, do not come. Kamala Harris being like, do not come. And then Trump being like, I'm going to come. Do not come. The word is spreading about this in Mexico.
Well, I don't think.
I talked to a sheriff on the border who told me the cartels are using this as a way to encourage migrants to cross the border. Bro, that's hilarious. I'm sorry, but that's fucking hilarious. I have to tweet about this. Over the border into liberal. No one does disinformation like us to ourselves. No, it's just fucking insane. It's exactly the same meme as Steven Crowder cross-dressing. Pure projection. Thank you, Chatter, for that, by the way. Dead Jutter, thank you for the 5. Get the subs. Astrology daughter or NFT bro son? Astrology daughter, easy. What is this? McDonald Google? Please no, not again, Big Donald, not again. This will be my 27th abortion, Donald. No, no. What? You think this guy is a HasanAbi chatter, dude? Are you crazy? Also, the most famous moment from the left was Kamala Harris saying, "Do not come." By the way, yeah, I already mentioned that. I met you in New York City and I asked for a photo. You picked up my 5-month-old child and you held it above me and kept saying, want this, and finally put him down after half an hour. At least you signed my shirt, though. Yeah, you're welcome. You should be excited that I didn't drop him. Chaos Bites, thank you for the 4. Give the subs. The right and counterproductive nonsense. Name a more, name a better duo. But it's like, dude, there is. I mean, I'm sorry. This is like a weird thing that is like weirdly not that bad. It's actually kind of good that they're doing this in a weird way, because I do feel like these migrants would be better taken care of in blue cities regardless. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's gonna, I personally think it might backfire on them. I'm not even kidding. Like, I literally, the people, like Martha's Vineyard is a terrible place to send them. And that's like specifically because they want to be pieces of shit, right? But if you're sending them to DC, or if you're sending them to like a big enough city, yeah, I think you can absolutely do that. Like you can. You absolutely can. And in a weird way, I do think that is, in a weird way, I do think that that's like a counterproductive for them, but it's actually overall good. Kind of like I haven't really been able to make my mind up on this. It's still dehumanizing because it's like they should be able to, go through. They should be able to basically go through the proper protocol wherever the fuck they are, right? Like, it's kind of silly. A lot of these migrants that go to Texas, like, they have immediate family in Texas. You know what I mean? But as migrants arrive, Martha's Vineyard residents and businesses lined up to help. Food, coffee, bedding, and warm clothes have been arriving at the island. Dude, it's backfiring. I'm telling you, why the fuck? They just literally thought like everyone's going to be just as racist as we are. You know what I mean? It's like, why the fuck would they? Why would... The cruelty really is the point, brother. Yeah, I mean, they're just doing it because, like, I think this is a really silly stunt. They're using tax dollars on this, okay? There are negative consequences of this. Like, first and foremost, like, you're kind of, you're taking away the autonomy of these people, and you're mistreating them like they're not human beings or whatever, which is really fucked up, obviously. However, I do think that this is kind of backfiring on them because you sent them to blue cities, and those motherfuckers are gonna take care of these people. You know what I mean? They're gonna help out. DeSantis sent them with a paper on where to go get a job, housing, etc., and gave them an address to a vacant lot. Literally evil. Isn't this illegal too somehow? I mean, dude, I'm a train conductor for Norfolk Southern Railroad. I'm excited to hear what you have to say about our quality of life. 80-hour work weeks plus 40 hours away from home on out-of-town trips, unpaid, and so on. Brother, I think it's fucked up that the Democrats are making it seem like Joe Brandon already cut a deal. Okay. Much love to the railroad workers, dude. You have the capacity as conductors. You literally have the capacity to shut down agricultural production. You have the capacity to shut down this entire country. And people don't recognize that. And I think like it's high time that they do, right? In America's history, this has happened in the past as well. We are going to talk about all that. The fact that like the Democrats are already running victory laps and the media is like going along with it, claiming that this is done, it's a done deal, and it's like it's over, the strike is over or whatever, is kind of silly because from what I understand, at least talking to the people that talk to the actual rank and file, in this process, it doesn't seem like the problems are solved. Hold on, little minor blip there, a little drop ski. Will it backfire on DeSantis or hogs like this? Maybe. As a rank and file railroader, I can say you're 100% correct. Dude, that makes me so happy. Knowing that there are HasanAbi heads that fucking work day in, day out inside of trains is fucking excellent. Okay? Inside of trains, on the railroads, like, that's so sick. Anyway, while the railroad bosses are like, you're going to bring the entire economy to a halt because you're too vital. And then when the workers ask for decency, they're like, okay, you're not that vital. They can't have it both ways and it's becoming obvious. Dude, anytime labor recognizes the power that it fucking has in united action, in collective action, in collective bargaining and work stoppages, dude, capital starts shitting its fucking pants, okay? So, yeah, Ben considers the workers getting a sick day to be a sweetheart deal, dude. What a fucking monstrous psychopath. Anyway. So we're gonna talk a lot about that in a moment, but I want to start off with the migrant thing. Let's see if the Themasius playlist has the migrant thing. We're gonna talk about the Patagonia founder. There's a lot of coverage on the migrant thing, but where the fuck is there anything on the... Oh, 50 migrants relocated to Martha's Vineyard.
Back in this country, we want to tell you about an escalation in the political fight over immigration. Dozens of apparent migrants landed by charter flight on a rocky island in the Atlantic, Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts. This was yesterday afternoon. They arrived as part of what Governor Ron DeSantis calls a relocation program. Many did not know where they were going, and local officials on the island were not given any advance notice of the flight's arrival. Nick Giovanni of our Boston station WBZ is in Woods Hole, that's just across the water from Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts. Nick, good morning.
Absolute psychopathic shit. I mean, just 50 human beings. Remember, these are 50 human fucking beings. And you're functionally like kidnapping them and then trafficking them across state boundaries. And the only reason why you're allowed to do this is because no one sees migrants as human beings. Like, they just see them as like completely devoid of any sort of rights whatsoever. This kind of thing would never happen. You can't do this to anyone. Can you imagine someone's like, hey, actually, I saw that you shoplifted, right? A fucking sandwich. So now I'm going to put you on a plane to a different state. You can't do that. You can only do this to to felons. You can only do this to homeless people, and you can only do this to migrants. Most of them black or brown, by the way, predominantly black or brown. And that is exactly what's happening here. Okay, you're trafficking children, which is also ironic from the QAnon party, right? They're literally trafficking children over state lines. But again, they don't have any fucking rights. So, go off, I guess. However, this can have a positive, like I said, this can have a positive impact. Because the underlying assumption is that these places are not going to want to take care of these people. And that the voters themselves are going to be reactionary just like they are. But it turns out it's kind of backfiring a little bit.
Tony, good morning to you. This is one of the ferry terminals here on Cape Cod that takes passengers to Martha's Vineyard, and it is there this morning where those migrants are waking up in at least 2 shelters that we know of following an island-wide response to their arrival. Volunteers on Martha's Vineyard found themselves scrambling to find shelter, food, water, and other services to accommodate the unforeseen arrival of 50 migrants, including the elderly and children, flown there as part of a relocation plan originated by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
Martha's Vineyard Community Services had 50 people sort of literally walk up to their front door.
Witnesses say the group wandered some 3 miles from the airport into Edgartown. Once in town, the migrants were met by volunteers who brought them to a high school where they were fed and later transported by school bus to a church to stay for the night. Authorities sent out urgent pleas on social media asking for volunteers to help with an urgent humanitarian situation. Barbara Rush worked into the night helping the families at St. Andrew's Episcopal Church.
From what we found out by talking to the people, they're originally from Venezuela. They were flown here. We're not sure what plane brought them here or how they got on a plane to here.
Volunteers said they were told by some of the migrants they did not know where they were, but were told they would be given housing and jobs. A statement from a DeSantis spokesperson read in part, Massachusetts, New York, and California will better facilitate the care of these individuals who they have invited into our country by incentivizing illegal immigration through their designation as sanctuary states.
Like, low-key, he's not wrong, though. In a weird way. What the fuck is this? Your Steam Deck is ready, but held only 2 days? Oh my God, I just got my fucking Steam Deck. Let's go. That was crazy. That's a crazy thing to fucking... Oh my God. I've been waiting for this moment for a very long time, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Sorry. That was crazy. That's a crazy notification to just get.
Since the spring, Republican governors in Texas and Arizona have transported several thousand migrants and asylum seekers to New York, Chicago, and Washington, D.C., all cities with Democratic mayors. Yet, unlike those major cities, these arrivals aren't met with migrant resources and services like immigrations courts, where their asylum cases can be heard.
Immigrants who were told that they would be greeted here with a place to stay and with jobs.
Massachusetts State Representative Dylan Fernandez arrived on the island Wednesday and called the move by the DeSantis government to transport migrants there with seemingly no coordination, quote, evil.
They're using children.
Yeah, I mean they're using them as political pawns, right? Which is insane. Like they're using literal children. They are trafficking literal children to do like a gotcha, like a political gotcha. And Fox News was, of course, on site when they got off the bus because this was the entire point. Wait, what the fuck? I need to install something? I just got a Steam Deck. What the fuck would I have to install for the Steam Deck? I think we're good. Anyway. Steam always assumes you're buying a game to download. You were saying something about DeSantis being right. Are migrants being baited by the promise of sanctuary states? No. No. DeSantis, the only part of what DeSantis is right about is that, yes, these undocumented immigrants that are seeking asylum, okay, will probably be better treated in blue states, in sanctuary states. That's true. Sanctuary cities are better for migrants. It is just the fucking truth. So, yes. And you see it. You see it, motherfucker. Immediately, these guys came in, and the first thing that they were met with is like a sea of support. You know what I mean? Like, their execution is disgusting. Their execution is absolutely disgusting, okay? Just like when I execute the top of the hour ad break 20 minutes into the hour, like, it's disgusting. And then I forget to run it. I forget to run the ad break in the beginning, and then I run it 20 minutes in. You know, at the top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or for free, okay? Disgusting. Disgusting that I forgot. Okay? But it's less disgusting, especially if you subscribe or get gifted a sub. If you're lucky, thank you, Chaos Bites, for gifting 5 people a sub and allowing the opportunity for them to no longer see the ads. Here's the 1-minute ad break now. Twitch Prime is also free if you're not lucky enough to get gifted a sub. By connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you get 1 free Prime subscription a month. Here's the 1-minute ad break now. Okay? But yeah, here, let's keep going.
As political pawns. But the island community has really rallied together.
So yeah, ultimately they did something really fucked up, and they treated these people as though they are not human. They took away their autonomy. They lied about the prospect of like a better future. Like there's no immediate jobs available because there was no coordination with the other states. Like if this was a normal fucking country, okay, if the United States was a normal country and not just like, white supremacists and light white supremacists fucking constantly duking it out in this never-ending political theater as they like try to figure out better ways of fucking over the poor, you would have collaboration. You'd be like, all right, there is like, 10,000 migrants that we have here, and there are areas of need. We should be able to better serve these migrants. These migrants would be better protected and better served in areas of need like Oklahoma, where there is like a labor shortage or something like that, which is still a little bit dehumanizing for sure. But you would offer them the opportunity. You'd say, hey, look, this is a place where there is actual housing. There is actual, relocation programs. There are actual training programs. There are actually adequate translators. And that would be, opening up more additional jobs in places like that, right? And then you would say, hey, would you like to go here? Okay? That's how you would do this. And then there would be an actual fucking asylum process where the states are collaborating with one another and actually creating housing opportunities for the people that are coming. They just fucking kidnapped them and sent them over and said, hey, here's an empty lot where there's a building where you can live in or some shit. Okay? Which is really fucked up. One of the migrants we spoke to last night said he spent 12 days waiting to cross the border. Then he spent 3 weeks being processed before they dropped him off at the airport. He said that he was only processed so fast because he was from Venezuela. There are thousands of people from Mexico who have been in the processing facility for months just because they're from Mexico. Yeah. Do you think there's any stock in their excuse about border towns not having resources to handle these people? What? No, dude. They're already spending a fuckload of money just like shipping them over to Martha's Vineyard and shit. What do you mean? No, guys, we're talking about states, okay? Especially states like Texas and shit. They literally have enough power. They command the power of entire states. Okay? They have resources, brother. They literally have resources. Especially because migrants mean new jobs. Both new jobs for the migrants to take on, but also new jobs that did not exist prior in both relocation, asylum seeking, legal paperwork, and also education programs. Like there are so many jobs. You need to build more housing. We're not talking about like Alabama. We're talking about Texas. More tax revenue, more jobs for, Americans that currently don't have jobs. Like there's so much. There is so much going on. Sending them to a place like DC is worse because DC doesn't have the same pool of funds and resources that states can tap into. That's one of the areas that's like fucked up. Anyway,
in addition to food and shelter,
Texas is scared of becoming California. Dude, that's so funny that you say that, especially because like Texas is an incredibly diverse state. Like people always think Texas is yee, but Texas has a long fucking history of like Texas was Mexico, man, just like California. What the fuck are you talking about? You know how many Mexican Texans, like Tex-Mex, you know how many fucking Mexicans already live in Texas. Texas has always been a state that's like hella Hispanic. The fuck? North Mexico to begin with. A lot of people forget that reality that like most of these southern states are. That's why I always make that joke. Like, there's only two ethnicities in America. You're either Italian if you're in the Northwest. I mean, if you're in the Northeast, like close to fucking New York, the closer you are to New York, the more Italian you are. Or you're Mexican, the closer you are to the Southwest or the South in general. Same people also forget some of the most insane American neo-Nazis are in SoCal. Yeah. Yeah, where do you think the names come from? Like San Antonio, El Paso. What is that? Is that, you think that's American? I mean, this is literally an Anchorman reference at this point. You know what I mean? Like San Diego. What was it? A whale's pussy? Is that what was the joke? A whale's vagina. Anyway, yeah, Los Angeles. Anyway, so the strategy of busing undesirables north is not a new one. To embarrass northern liberals and humiliate black people, Southern White Citizens Council started their so-called reverse freedom rides, giving black people one-way tickets to northern cities with false promises, jobs, housing, and better lives. Yeah, this was a Klan tactic, by the way. The Kennedy White House received mail from the leaders in the targeted states asking the federal government to intervene in the cruel, merciless hoax and their traffic in human lives and misery. DeSantis' move may backfire among his own anti-communist voter base. Yeah, there's also this other stunt that is probably pissing off the Cubans and Venezuelans that already live in Miami-Dade County. Ron DeSantis' stunt of flying 50 undocumented migrants to Martha's Vineyard may play well on Fox News, but the fact that it was 50 undocumented Venezuelans who would escape the Maduro regime may not play as well in Miami-Dade County. Yeah. That's the other part of it. These are the good ones. You know what I mean? I thought these were the good ones, man. These were the ones who were running from communism. That's how you're going to treat your voter base, Ron? I guess Cubans don't really give a fuck, but there are plenty of Venezuelans who also have escaped communism living in fucking Florida. So there is that as well. I am here on the ground. They actually don't care. Most importantly, though, yeah, Cubans don't give a shit, most likely. But most importantly, though, like I said, time and time again, this probably will backfire because, I mean, these guys will most like you are handing a gigantic dub to blue states to be like, yeah, we took the fucking migrants that you shamelessly sent over like you're a part of the fucking Klan, okay? And now they have incredible lives here, you fucking piece of shit. You did human trafficking.
Migrants were also tested for COVID and were all negative, we're told. Now, as for Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker, who's also a Republican, his office told us the state will continue to support the short-term sheltering services provided to those migrants. Reporting from Woods Hole, Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Nick Giovanni. Tony, back to you in New York.
Nick Giovanni for us from WBZ there, our partners in Massachusetts. A story unlike any.
By the way, this is human trafficking, and there is legal precedent for prosecuting this, I think. Governor Newsom has called on the Justice Department to investigate the interstate transportation of migrants. Like millions of Americans, I've been horrified at the images of migrants being shipped on buses and planes across the country to be used as political props. Clearly, transporting families, including citizens, across state lines under false pretenses is morally reprehensible, but it may also be illegal, because I think it is. You can't just like fucking ship a bunch of humans, dude. You can't do that. I mean, this is like that Platoon moment, a movie that I just watched on a plane flying into Los Angeles, California yesterday. But it's like that moment in Platoon when they actually enter the fucking Vietnamese village, and Charlie Sheen has this like come to God moment where he recognizes the humanity of the fucking Vietnamese, that they are bullying and brutalizing and raping and murdering unjustifiably. Which is a great movie, by the way. High key recommended. Platoon, spoilers, suck my dick, dude. It's literally a 70-year-old movie. You fucking idiots. Half the cast is like dead now, okay? Incredible cast, incredible movie. Love that. It was so good. I highly, highly recommend it. Also, it's about like legitimate history. So as I was saying though, it is like I mean, it's just spoils it and recommends it. What the fuck are you talking about? Of course, I've seen Full Metal Jacket. I saw Full Metal Jacket way too early in my life, though. I think it like fucked me up a little bit. Yeah, spoiler alert, Vietnam whooped the American asses. So you will definitely see that in that movie. I watched Full Metal Jacket by myself when I was like 12, and that was definitely too early. Full Metal Jacket, Private Pile or whatever, Gomer, was it Gomer? Whatever. That moment, seeing that when I was like 12 or 13 or however old I was, that was the first time I went, oh my God, I don't think I should have seen this by myself. Like that moment is when I realized like, oh shit, this is why they have like restricted, 17 plus maturity ratings on movies. I was like even in my little ass child ass brain, I was like, what the fuck? I think this just unlocked something in my brain. I literally thought with my little ass kid brain, I was like, I probably should not have seen this. I was like this. I got so fucked up by Full Metal Jacket at a young age that I joined the army. Haha, wait till you're older kids before watching that movie. Wait, what? You watched an incredibly anti-war movie and you joined the army? You got the wrong message, man. What the fuck? It's like, it's the same as Platoon. It's like inherently anti-imperialist works right there. Damn, this guy where he kills himself after being like brain broken by the American military is pretty sick. It's like watching Starship Troopers and thinking fascism is tight, actually. Yeah, don't watch Stanley Kubrick movies until you're like at least 14, 15, That's all I'm going to say. Or even Platoon. I have a Marine buddy whose favorite movies are Full Metal Jacket and Jarhead. Yeah, of course, dude. Because he's too stupid to understand. That's why he's a Marine. What do you mean? Like, yeah, that makes the most sense. Being a Marine and saying like Jarhead is my favorite movie is so funny because Jarhead directly shits on you. The entire movie is about shitting on you being too stupid. What the fuck? My brother was a huge film bro. Made me watch movies with him when I was like 10. That wasn't even the worst part. I found the part where they had a dead Viet Cong just hanging on with them on camp was more traumatizing. The Marines get off on self-deprecation. I mean, that does make sense. Anyway. Some dudes from my high school saw Jarhead and got more hyped to enlist. That makes no sense. What the fuck? I literally do not understand. I unironically don't understand how you can watch like a movie that literally says, look at how fucking dumb these guys are and look at how much they got fucked over by a government that like literally abused them for how dumb they are. Like, what do you think Jody is about? Like, what do you think when the fucking when they pop in the VHS, okay, the cassette, and his girlfriend is getting fucked by the neighbor? Okay, what do you think that moment was about? What do you were like, oh, that's pretty sick. Like, I do want to go overseas and fight in a war that is like completely unnecessary. That's not even a fucking real war to begin with, and have my wife get fucked. And then have everybody else in my platoon fucking fight for the tape so they can jerk off to it because they haven't seen pussy in like months. Jarhead was a great movie though. It was great. Dudes jerk off Tyler Durden and Patrick Bateman for decades. How are we just realizing NA young minds are broke? Yeah. I did love, I mean, dude, a lot of my, I guess, anti-imperialist takes unironically come from watching at an early age, like watching Black Hawk Down and all these other fucking movies. Like, I mean, I also thought the military looked very cool in those movies, but I also realized, like, yeah, these guys are not having a good time.
Buses filled with migrants from our southern border have just arrived outside Vice President Kamala Harris's residence at the Naval Observatory in Washington, D.C.
I mean, dude, it's so fucking obvious what they're doing. This is so gnarly, dude.
Griff Jenkins is live on the scene to tell us more. Griff, is that Massachusetts Avenue that I'm looking at right there?
Yeah, good morning, Steve, Ainsley, and Brian. This bus just arrived moments ago. I talked to some of the folks. Apparently, this bus has come from Del Rio, Texas. That's what a gentleman on the bus told me. And these, pardon me, ¿de dónde eres?
De Venezuela.
¿Venezuela? ¿Habla inglés?
No.
¿Sí, no? ¿No? La presidenta Harris dice que frontera cerrado.
Dude, I love this. This is so funny. La Presidente! Hey! Hey, you! Hablo inglés! Hablo inglés! ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? ¿Dónde está la Presidente Kamala Harris? Bro, this dude, bro, you couldn't get a Spanish speaker for this? You knew that this was going to happen. Didn't some Republican Congress or Senate member organize this shit? Yeah, DeSantis did. You knew that this was going to happen. You couldn't find like a person who could, translate. You were there when they're getting out of the bus. So clearly you're collaborating. You're clearly collaborating with whatever fucking Republican is pulling the stunt. So you couldn't find like a Spanish speaker? Hablo americano.
La frontera es cerrado or abierto?
Abierto.
Abierto. So what she's saying, Steve, I asked her if Vice President Harris says that the border is closed. She says it's open. As we see these migrants coming across now, we're not sure how many there are. We do know that according to Texas Governor Abbott's office, there have been about 7,900. Pardon me.
Wait, did she even say that? I mean, I can't speak Spanish, but I don't think that, did she even say that? Wait, the whole like the border is open meme comes from this guy unironically being too stupid to bring like an actual capable Spanish speaker with him? She did. She said abierto. She said it was open, but the way he asked the question was fucked up. What did he say, though? Him, border closed or open? Her open. There is not enough context. He baited. Fox News viewers only speak American anyway. It doesn't matter. Hola, Harris abierto o cerrado?
Do you speak English? ¿Habla inglés?
No, amigo.
¿De dónde eres?
Venezuela.
Venezuela? Everybody from todos Venezuela?
Sí, venimos prácticamente de Venezuela, país, un país.
The thing is, don't we already have like a special treatment for Venezuelan migrants, by the way? Like, they might unironically think the border is open, whereas, Mexicans know that that's not the case. If you're from Guatemala, if you're from Mexico, if you're from any of these other countries that is not escaping communism, right? Then it's not open for you. But these are still asylum speakers, right? These are still asylum speakers. So technically, it is legal for them to be seeking asylum in the United States of America. It's additionally legal for Venezuelans to be seeking that because they're escaping communism. She said abierto, but she does not know what he was clearly asking. It was too ambiguous.
País muy duro. En realidad, queríamos ya salir de allá. Tenemos días viajando.
I feel like this is literally, once again, humanizing. The asylum seekers in this situation.
Migración también nos ha jodido mucho en México, pero lo que queremos es triunfar. Queremos evolucionar, queremos tener de todo, queremos.
Yeah, they have temporary protected status until 2024. Like, so they are allowed. Migrants coming in from Venezuela are allowed.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, buena suerte. So I'm not going to be able to translate all of that, and I wouldn't even try because it wouldn't look good on live TV. But as you can see, they're coming across here, all of these migrants.
Yeah, because you just don't know what he said. You just said, abierto. Abierto. When you're padding your resume and say fluent in Spanish because you got an 87 on the final 6 years ago, yo, this motherfucker is his level of Spanish is my level of Spanish, okay? This is hilarious. Why couldn't Fox News actually send someone that knows how to speak Spanish? This is so funny. There's not a single person at Fox News that speaks Spanish. Of course there are. They couldn't have fucking hired a Spanish speaker to translate? That's crazy. Yeah, Peggy Hill Spanish language. Look.
Mrs. Hill, in your own words, your own Spanish words, please tell the judge what happened with little Lupe.
Su Pudenor. Yo poder ver que usted ser caballo razonable. Yo estoy muy embarazada por lo que pasar por Lupe. Ella comer mi accidente de comión y yo nomás quiera que hacer que Lupe ser libro. Yo tengo mucho demasiados buenos años enfrente para pasar mi vida en fábrica cigarros.
I mean, straight up.
It appears to be at least 20 or so at this point. We have 2 buses. So what I was saying was, we know from Governor Abbott's office, there have been about 7,900 migrants on over 190 buses coming to D.C., more than 2,200 on more than 40 buses to New York, and of course about 5 buses to Chicago with a little over 300 migrants. ¿De dónde eres?
Buenos días. ¿Cómo está?
¿Dónde está la biblioteca? My friend, I see you're wearing an American hat. ¿Dónde está la Venezuela, my friend? Hello?
¿De dónde eres?
No entiendo, no inglés.
¿Habla inglés?
No.
Okay. Hola. ¿Cómo estás?
That's so fucked up, bro. That's like a literal baby, dude. I mean, homie's got the pajamas on and shit. What are you doing, bro? That's a child. What the fuck? That is actually insane.
Bien.
¿De dónde eres?
De Venezuela.
Venezuela? Me llamo Griff. ¿Cómo se llama?
Gaby.
All right. Buena suerte. As you can see, children coming across here. Habla inglés.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest though. Like, this is gonna backfire. I think. Like, I think Republicans are running on the idea that like everyone else is gonna be just as racist as they are. Like, the people that put this together were like, oh yeah, people are gonna see this and be like really fucking racist about it. When in fact, it's like it's turning into like a Channel 5 situation. Like, you're literally showcasing the humanity of these people that are trying to find a better. You're showcasing the humanity of people that are trying to make a better life for themselves. Not only that, but also these are people that are escaping communism, so they're the good kind of migrants too, regardless of how fucking brown they are, right? I just don't see. Yeah, look at all these rapists and criminals coming off the bus is not going to fucking work. Exactly. Like, when you can very clearly see that they're just like normal people. And they are. They always are normal people.
Inglés? Habla inglés? No. The majority of migrants that have been coming, and I can give you some of the most recent numbers.
Yeah, I guess the reason why they didn't bring a translator is because they don't care about it. And they want to like drive home the point, like, look, we can't understand them. Like, they're coming over the border and we can't even understand them. Like, they can't even speak English. That's probably the reason why they're doing that. But even then, like, you forgot that they are in fact brown, so Fox viewers will see them as animals? Nah, man. I don't know, dude. I can't look at this and go, wow, these guys, I can't comprehend how people would look at these people and go, these guys are very clearly doing crimes. They're criminals. You see a fucking child in a Marvel shirt, dude? That's all. Like, the only difference between this kid and like any other average random kid is that he's a little bit more tan, dude. You crazy? You think Fox News grandparents don't have fucking grandchildren? He's got the Marvel pajamas on, dude. That's crazy. Hasan, you're not racist. That's why. No, dude. No. I'm telling you. I'm fucking telling you. I'm telling you. Listen. I believe. Look. I believe in the humanity of everyone, regardless, okay? No matter how white supremacist people are, there is degrees to this shit, okay? There is degrees to this shit. Like, there are people who will look at this and go, yeah, fuck those, brown kids coming over the border and whatever. Yeah, those guys are like mega racist. But most normal people have underlying white supremacist values, but they will immediately go, hey, I'm not a racist person. Why do they say that? They say that because they understand that racism is an inherently bad value, okay? There are varying degrees and different tiers of white supremacy. In an otherwise white supremacist upbringing, people pick up white supremacist values without even recognizing that they are white supremacists. But when you call it out as such, they immediately know, well, that's a bad thing. There is an association with racism as though it's a bad thing. Okay, so most normal Americans, when they fucking see shit like this, it's gonna be like the abortion situation. They're not. This is unironically the exact opposite of propaganda, the exact opposite kind of propaganda that Trump tries to do all the time, which is every single migrant is actually a rapist murderer, right? Trump very deliberately, and Republicans who are racist, like Tucker Carlson, very deliberately will run black crime and migrant crimes every fucking night to paint the entirety of migrants that are coming over the border as like people who are trying to do crimes in America. It wasn't even a voice crack. I just swallowed my own spit on accident. They are watching this at home and don't care who thinks they are racist, bro. I get your point, but it's so naive. I don't know, man. I think that like more people would look at this and realize the humanity of these people. than the opposite. That's why you don't see this kind of that's why you don't see this kind of coverage normally. That's why the coverage afforded to migrants, for the most part, is literally around like how murdering they are. You have too much faith in people. Carter's right. Leftists seem to forget hogs are also people. Yes, dude. Yes. That's why you always find yourself shocked when you fucking hear about like literally a Trump supporter, like a Hispanic Trump supporter, who's like, yeah, I want to build the wall. But then they ask him, like, do you think we should give amnesty to people that are already here? And he'll say, yes, of course. You can't understand the complexities of the American political mind if you cannot understand that a lot of the white supremacist attitudes and values that they repeat or have baked into their existence is just a product of social conditioning. And if you don't reinforce that white supremacist attitude with the appropriate agitprop, and you do this, you're going to actually end up making a lot of people go, wait a minute, these guys are just like regular dudes. Now, maybe I'm being a little bit too, hopeful here. But I do think that this like Ron DeSantis move overall might actually end up backfiring. You get it? I grew up surrounded by actual fucking Nazis in North Idaho. It's super hard for those people to escape. I got insanely lucky with my family having diversity and also moving to a big city in my teenage years. A lot of studies have shown that even a very small view of the sameness cuts through sameness very effectively. This did not show what Fox News wanted it to show. Yeah. You libbing shit up? What? No, I'm not. I'm not libbing it up at all. New York got you libbed up. No, you guys are fucking nuts, dude. Even the most hateful right-winger ultimately is, when confronted with their racism, will probably have a reaction to it that you do not expect, where they're like, I'm not racist. Why do you think they think that? A lot of fucking racist right-wingers unironically think that they're not racist. They think, because they think that it's just white supremacist conditioning has created these environments that they just take for granted. Not gonna lie, but you kind of foster all these ultra leftoids in your chat. Kudos on educating them, though. Man, dude, I do this all the fucking time, okay? And I'm doing it right now. I'm trying to change people's minds, and you're like, you did this. It's like, no, I didn't. People still come in here, regardless of whether they agree with me or not. Is it an echo chamber or not?
Griff, ¿cómo se llama?
Gaby.
To go.
Right.
They don't know where they're going to go because there's no one from the D.C. Office of Immigration meeting them. There are a few other reporters out here.
Yeah, I wonder why there's only reporters, but no one from the D.C. Office of Immigration meeting them. Perhaps because they only informed the reporters and not the fucking proper authorities, dude. You literally set this up. That's fucking insane to me. Like, that is insane. It's like, oh, no one from the immigration office is meeting them. I don't know. Maybe because you dropped these fucking people like they're bags, okay? Instead of real fucking full-fledged humans. And you set it up by sending reporters there. The only people that you informed were reporters.
That's all that are
Griff,
here trying to figure out exactly where they're going to go next.
Griff,
No.
I don't know if Griff... Hey, Griff, can you hear me? I think we have... Griff has momentarily lost contact with the mothership here.
Get you back now. Sorry about that, guys.
Griff, can you hear me?
I got you, Steve.
Okay. Griff, because you're not able to pick up a lot of details from those particular migrants, aside from a lot of them are from Venezuela, can you go into the front of that first of two buses and just ask the driver where they're from, and who asked them to pull up in front of Kamala Harris's house?
Yeah.
Like, they sent them the... Wait, what? I mean, we know who fucking told them to pull up in front of Kamala Harris's house. What are they trying to say, that Kamala Harris asked for them to come there? What the fuck? Does that seem like an appropriate location for them to be dropped off at? How do you fuck this up? You knew ahead of time. You knew ahead of time this was going to happen. How do you fuck this up, Fox News? How do you fuck this up, Ron DeSantis?
Let's go over here for a second, Barnum. We'll see. And so we're just confirming with you, you're coming from Del Rio, Texas?
Yeah, well said. I'm a black liberal who went to college in an extremely red state, Arizona, and what you explained sounds a lot more like more of the kids I went to school with. I had a lot of conservative friends there, and nothing highlights your point more than West Coast conservatives. They are trippy as fuck. You're right. Most weren't even aware of the white supremacy shit they were conditioned into, lol. Yeah, bro, it's like when you talk to a normie about Black Mermaid, and they immediately are like, well, that's kind of weird. Aren't mermaids supposed to be white? And it's like, bro, that's a mythical creature. How did you arrive at that? You can literally, and even if you know that normie person is unironically has never, like, they're not as racist as the average person at all. They're like fucking, you know, they're not at all, but they immediately, that's like their first reaction. Where did they arrive at that? Okay. How did they arrive at that? They arrived at that through social conditioning. Okay. It's a mermaid. They're not real. They're not real. Not real. How did you arrive at that? Why do you think Jesus is white? It's the same fucking conditioning, dude. It's the same take. Mermaids were always portrayed white, though. Yeah, mermaids are, they're not real, though, you know? They're actually gray and black and brown, as a matter of fact. Do you know why? Because they're fucking sea lions and manatees, dumbass. That's what the original depiction was in mythology. It was the sirens that sailors who were horny as fuck mistook for human beings and women because they were so fucking horny and had scurvy and their brains were fucking broken. So they would literally sail the boat into the fucking shallow waters because they saw manatees and shit that were standing on the rocks and thought, oh my God, that's a woman. Can't wait to fuck that manatee pussy. That's like the original inception of the mermaid mythology. That's where that comes from. But again, it's made up. It's made up. Just like elves and shit. It doesn't matter if they're fucking black or brown or white. It doesn't matter. They're made up. Anyway.
All right.
I don't think they want to talk.
They're not able to talk to us, although we do have confirmation from the governor's office that the governor sent these buses here specifically to Vice President Harris's house, to the Naval Observatory here. But again, where these migrants are going to go right now is anybody's guess as we watch this unfold.
You know, Griff, you asked one of those migrants about, there's irony involved in what they have done by shipping these two buses to the Naval Observatory, which it looks like you're right on Massachusetts Avenue. The vice president's house is just up the hill beyond a fence, the direction you're looking right there. She's in charge. She's the so-called border czar. So she's saying it's secure. And if two buses full of people who just walked across into this country on...
Dog, you did this. Who did this? You did. What is happening? I'm losing my fucking mind. Bro, why are they making it seem like Kamala Harris was like, please come? Oh my God. Wait, this is so stupid. This has to be, dude, Democrats have to fucking flip this, dude. This is such a gimme. I mean, this is insane. It's like the top of the hour ad break and not actually seeing a fucking ad exactly at 1 p.m. when the ad break is served. And if you're wondering, like, still at this point, how do I avoid seeing those fucking ads? Well, baby, let me tell you, by subscribing for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Because at the top of the hour, there's a 6-second ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you could do for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, where you get 1 free Prime subscription a month, or by getting gifted a sub if you're lucky. Not everyone is, though. Here's the 1-minute ad break now. Bro, you're anti-Arab for real? Oh, fuck, I missed it. What the fuck? What was that dumbass saying? Arab bitch X. He said, oh, fuck, I can't even see the log. I can't pull people's logs up anymore. This sucks. He said I'm anti-Arab for real? Yeah, I can't for some reason, like Twitch is not letting you pull logs lately, this past week or so. Anyway,
on their own, if she thinks that's secure, all she's got to do is look out the window to see, you know, this is the consequence of their open border policy.
Well, that's
Said, bro, you're anti-Arab for real? Like, you really were on streamers' asses that went to Saudi for charity, by the way, and said, oh, Saudi kills Yemen. Like, they do, but it got nothing to do with the charity. Like, also extremely ironic coming from a Turk. Wait, brother. They're literally doing it for whitewashing. What do you mean? It's called, there's a term for it. It's called sports washing. Also, what do you think? What are people in Yemen? Are they not Arab? Like, the fuck kind of take is that? What happened, bro? Did you just find out about this? Like, what do you think people from Yemen, what ethnicity are they? Motherfuckers like, only the Saudis are Arab. That's cool. That's cool, man. Thank you. Press secretary says the fact that Fox News and not the Department of Homeland Security for the city or the city was notified in advance of Republican governor shipping migrants to D.C. Martha's Vineyard makes this clear there's a cruel, premeditated political stunt. Oh, does it suck to have migrants show up in your community uninvited and without preparation? That's crazy. Bro, that's so fucking insane. You are so cucked. You are so cucked. They're using your fucking tax dollars to do this, you idiot. They could have used it to, like, not do human trafficking and instead actually help these people relocate. What the fuck? Yo, people are so cucked. They're so
That's exactly
dumb.
right, Steve. And Governor Abbott's office tells us that they have chosen to drop the migrants off here outside of Vice President Harris's Naval Observatory home, specifically because of her comments on Meet the Press on Sunday, telling Chuck Todd that the border was secure, and it's obviously not. We'll take you up here just a little bit and see. Eventually, you would think at least the Secret Service or someone from Vice President Harris's office will come out to meet them. But right now, we'll just leave you with this live look, guys.
There you go. 2 buses, a lot of migrants from Venezuela.
Subscribe to the Fox News.
2 buses, a lot of migrants from Venezuela. Nice, dude. Oh, my fucking Lord. Anyway, like we said, it's kind of backfiring on them. Hopefully it continues to backfire on them. We're going to get into the railroad strike in a second. But before we do, yeah, We confirmed 50 migrants were flown to Martha's Vineyard and are being helped at a church. The men, women, and kids said they didn't know where they were, and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis told Fox he sent them as part of his relocation program for illegal immigrants. Where they landed, they just started walking until they found town offices. Governor DeSantis has promised to send migrants to progressive states. He told Fox News states like Massachusetts, New York, and California will better facilitate the care of these individuals, which he's not wrong about. Like, that part is actually unironically not wrong. I do think that these states will most likely facilitate better care for these people, but the way that he's doing this relocation is literally fucking unjustifiable, cruel, inhumane, treating them not like they're human beings, but instead fucking, baggage. There's some conflicting information. We were told the migrants are telling translators on the Vineyard they are from Venezuela and flew in from Texas, but DeSantis claimed to Fox News that this was his program. Got a statement from Governor Baker's office. The Baker-Polito administration is in touch with local officials regarding the arrival of migrants of Martha's Vineyard. Short-term shelter services are being provided by local officials. It also says it will support the effort. Emergency officials on Martha's Vineyard are now asking for volunteers to help with the unexpected urgent humanitarian situation. And guess what? They are doing that already. So get fucked, you fucking animals. You absolute fucking pieces of shit. Absolute fucking dog shit, psychopathic, moronic baboons, dude. I fucking despise the Republican Party, which just runs a campaign of cruelty. That's it. And it's backfiring on them because human beings are not as fucking disgusting as these scumbags are. Okay? As migrants arrived, Martha's Vineyard residents and businesses lined up to help. Food, coffee, bedding, and warm clothes have been arriving as the island works to meet the needs of more than 40 people that were flown there without warning. Turns out human beings are significantly more decent. So yeah, get fucked. Okay? Get absolutely fucked. Thank you, Dallas5360 for the 5 get the subs. They keep fucking claiming that there's a caravan. There's a caravan. Anyway, here's a Martha's Vineyard person with some words. I was at St. Andrew's Church helping to feed these people. They were told they were going to Boston where housing and jobs were waiting for them. In other words, they were lied to. There were men, women, and children. They hadn't eaten anything since 6 a.m. What kind of depraved individual loads up 50 people onto a plane and dumps them in a strange place without even notifying anyone that they're coming? These are leaders. These are Christians. I'll tell you what, it's a disgusting political stunt at the expense of human beings just wanting to work and provide for their families. But you know what? On this island, we treated them with dignity, we fed them, we gave them medical attention, and we will give them a warm and safe place to sleep. Tomorrow, we will give them breakfast and help them figure out what's next, because on Martha's Vineyard, we won't turn our backs on people in need who are being abused by extremist Republican governors for some cheap soundbite on Fox News. Thank you to all the volunteers who were there. It restores my faith in humanity that we came together to help the people in need. So the irony here, of course, is that Greg Abbott was doing this already. He was busing them to D.C., and then DeSantis, of course, immediately jumped on it and wanted to do the same shit. Greg Abbott is doing the buses that you saw on Fox News most likely were not even Ron DeSantis's. They were Greg Abbott's buses. The ones that are in D.C. Ron DeSantis is the Martha's Vineyard one, and Greg Abbott did the D.C. one. He's been doing it for a while. So here's what the Ron DeSantis claim is now. He's trying to flip this as people are fucking yelling. Florida truckers.
Yes, if you have folks that are inclined to think Florida's a good place, our message to them is we are.
What does dick taste like, my guy? Dude, why don't you ask your mom? She can literally tell you what my dick tastes like. That's such a weird question to direct at me. I mean, come on, dude. You're really gonna give me an alley-oop? That's so silly. You just came in here and you were like, yeah, my mom is freshly fucked, and I want everyone to know in the chat. I'm gonna signal to everyone. Great.
Are not a sanctuary state. And it's better to be able to go to a sanctuary jurisdiction. And yes, we will help facilitate that transport for you to be able to go to greener pastures. Yes, if you have
too easy. If you want to be snarky, do it in a funny way at least. Yeah. Democratic states are greener pastures. Yeah, literally. He's saying Florida is not a green pasture, which is true. It's not. It is a human rights abuse to just make anyone live in Florida, let alone migrants that are coming in. Okay.
I think anyone.
And now they're saying the word is spreading about this in Mexico. I talked to a sheriff on the border who told me the cartels are using this as a way to encourage migrants to cross the border.
Numbers are surging at the border, and while I don't think anyone would argue it's Texas's responsibility alone to house or provide care for every migrant, the state only started sending buses to Democrat-led cities earlier this year. So I wonder, what did Texas do previously?
You know, Texas for years has focused on the enforcement, on the law enforcement on the border. And the way that Texas DPS has always put it, and the governors, including Abbott, has put it in the past, is they focus on filling in the gaps of security where Border Patrol can't because of surges at different points in time that we've all covered. Now, what has changed now, Anna, and this is the interesting and fascinating part of this, what has changed is the cost. Who's paying for this? The transportation. Because back to the story that I was sharing with you just moments ago, where migrants are taken by Border Patrol to respite centers, and from there they go to places across the country. In the past, before April, before Governor Abbott started offering these free buses to migrants, what would happen is these migrants would pay for the bus tickets themselves. Their family members across the country would send them money to the border and pay for these bus tickets or plane tickets. So it was coming from the pockets of the migrants or from their family members. What's different now is that the taxpayer is now paying for it. It's being politicized. That's what's different. That's what we're seeing here across the border. And if I may add, if I can just have a little more time here, Anna, because the word is spreading about this in Mexico. I talked to a sheriff on the border who told me that the cartels are using this as a way to encourage migrants to cross the border. I just talked to an organization, a nonprofit, a respite center.
The irony here is that like busing migrants away from Mexico and all these other fucking southern states and sending them to like places like Massachusetts is unironically going to hurt the bottom line of agricultural producers and also like chicken factories and shit. Because the reality is, those places unironically do create this like, they rely on migrant labor. They literally do. So you're fucking up your own bag, my man. You are. Oh, a sheriff? Okay, they never lie. I mean, the idiocy of this, sheriffs, the folks who talk to cartels every day, like what? Like, The idiocy of this is tenfold, okay? But it's just like the absolute fucking worst possible outcome for so many people. And it unironically, I think, is good for the migrants themselves. If they're getting a fucking free ticket to a blue state, a sanctuary city, yeah, great. I hope that the libtards at these fucking places don't actually flub this and fuck it up and use it as an opportunity to show the rest of the world and do a little bit of agitprop as well to show that these are just human beings that are looking for a better life, and they can very easily work alongside American citizens, naturalized U.S. citizens or natural born U.S. citizens, which of course, as you can see from the CNN coverage here, they're taking a relatively right-wing approach to this, where they're like, oh, this is actually making more migrants come into the country. It's like, well, that's not necessarily a bad thing. If only Republicans considered all humans as people, we'll see.
The director of that respite center said that migrants are arriving to the U.S. asking about Abbott's buses. Now, a few weeks ago, I interviewed DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, and I asked him about this. I said, Secretary, what I'm hearing from people on the ground, from a sheriff, is that the cartels are using this information to encourage migrants to cross the border. Is that the intelligence that you're hearing? And what Secretary Mayorkas said is that that's not the intelligence that he has, to be clear. But he said it wouldn't surprise him, Anna, if that were the case, because that's what human smuggling organizations do. That's what criminal organizations do. They lie and they take advantage of migrants. And in this case, migrants who are wanting to come to the border for a better life.
Yeah, I wish I could see more of this fucking sheriff. I would love to hear from this fucking sheriff. But yeah, as DeSantis and Abbott sent immigrants to cities, towns of political opposition worth recalling when a similar thing was proposed and ICE officials deemed it illegal under Trump. The plan was, of course, favored by Stephen Miller, everyone's favorite white supremacist, Trump's main policy advisor, and then it was shut down by ICE's lawyers, people said at the time and more recently. The idea had already been deemed illegal by ICE when Trump said it of sanctuary cities, we can give them an unlimited supply of undocumented immigrants. Gotta love how there's always a surge or a caravan like 4 to 6 weeks before an election. CNN loves this shit and pushes it every time. Remember their a caravan graphics from 2018? The news ended one day after the election. Yeah, but this time there was no fucking caravan at all, so they just made the own caravan. I mean, last time they made their own caravan as well, but at least there was like actually a surge in migrants that were escaping horrifying conditions back home, trying to come into the United States. But this time they're like, yeah, we couldn't fucking whip one up in time, so we're just making our own. That's great. That's great. Love that. All right, let's get into some fucking labor union news.